literally ruined most of my day today because I had 2 cups of coffee this morning. And that may sound like nothing to most people, understandably so. But I can't take it. And it plays hell with my anxiety. Like, I got to work, right? And I'm talking to a couple other drivers and my boss, and we're just shooting the shit. I go grab a cup of coffee, just, whatever. And it went down so well, and I hadn't had coffee in a while because I do avoid it. It went down so well, I'm like, oh, hell, like, just not even thinking, I'll grab another cup. I had those 2 cups of coffee, and I leave, get on the road, and 20 minutes later, I am, my heart's beating out of my chest, my vision is blurring, I got a fucking headache, I'm just like, I feel horrible, I have this like sinking feeling in my stomach that's just terrible. And that seriously lasted for like 5 hours. Not even exaggerating. And it's the fucking worst, dude. Like, I ruined my day by just nonchalantly, not even thinking twice about it, having a second cup of coffee because I just can't handle, like, back in the day, I used to really think, like, why would anyone ever drink decaf? Like, that just seems totally pointless. I get it now. Like, I absolutely get it now. Because I like coffee. I like coffee, but I can't fucking handle it anymore. I don't know what happened, but that's just the way things are.
So, can I ask you, did you drink last night?
I did. Not, like, extremely, but I definitely, like...
So, it's really interesting that you brought up the decaf point, and this... I'm sorry, I'll let you finish, actually, because it might... Just explain how much you drank last night or whatever.
Oh, well, I mean, like, probably... I don't know, I'd put it at half a 750 Seagrams, which is what I got going right now as well, since we didn't cover what we're drinking.
Okay, so that's like what? Like, that's like at most 6 drinks, or that's not a ton, right?
Not a hell of a lot.
Excuse me. You said a half of a 7.5? Yeah. All right, so this was, if you remember our old segment, Smarter Alcoholic.
Yep.
For our longtime listeners, longtime fans, you might remember this one. This was actually, I don't remember if I ever brought this up on like our practice episodes when that was like really a thing we were kind of leaning into or what. But I have bought decaf coffee, and I know exactly where you're coming from. Like, why would people have decaf coffee? And I lived most of my life fucking feeling that way until I started waking up a little bit hungover and noticing that if I wake up hungover, my blood pressure is really high. And if I drink coffee, it sends me into that exact same fucking shit that you're talking about.
No kidding.
And I will not drink coffee on a morning that I'm hungover anymore. I don't. And I literally keep decaf coffee around. And this is going to be a Smarter Alcoholic. Is it Smarter Alcoholic to keep decaf coffee around because your blood pressure is so high the morning after drinking?
Absolutely smart, dude. That makes total sense. Because, like, I already have high blood pressure, but that absolutely tracks that I was... Like, I wasn't super hungover, but I was a little bit. Like, I still drank last night. And then I piled 2 cups of coffee on top of that, and I was fucking miserable all day.
Yeah. No, I never had this issue. So, like, you're, 8 years younger than I am, so I can't say that when I was 27 I had, but again, you have high blood pressure, you know, because you're so tall, your blood has to go very high to get to your brain, so it makes sense. I'm
not sure that high blood pressure relates to altitude of the blood flow.
You sure about that? I don't know. It does seem like big people usually have high blood pressure. Yeah,
this is true.
Like, you gotta... but no, for real, that's 100% fucking legitimate, man. I know exactly what you speak of.
Well, it's just like with light beer, like same thing. Back in the day, I never understood why people would drink light beer. It's like, if you're going to drink beer, drink beer. But now I'm 27, getting, ever drawing closer to 28. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Because alcohol's been making me fat for a few years now. And you want the lighter stuff. You want the same effect with not all the fucking calories. I fucking get it.
Well, and for anybody, again, a long-time listener might notice that I haven't brought up my Red Hook in quite a while, and it's because I found out that those beers are about 500 calories a piece.
Oof, Jesus,
and,
really?
It makes sense because of how much fucking...
That's so much!
I mean, there's 16 ounces. Yeah. And I got really fat this fucking winter. I stopped drinking those shits like 2 weeks ago. I'm like 15 pounds less. It's unbelievable.
Holy,
and the reason I
500 fucking
how much
calories
were in
Holy
them, or how many calories were in them was because I started to think more about the correlation between alcohol content and caloric content. And I realized these beers are really strong. I bet they have a ton of calories in them. So I looked it up, and sure as shit, they got a ton of fucking calories. So I drink I only have 4 of them on a night.
Yeah, but that's that is your daily recommended
daily
caloric intake. That is fucking insane. Still not talking shit about Red Hook. If they ever want to sponsor us, they're still welcome. Just covering our asses.
They definitely, they'll definitely fatten you up. And it was good. It was good over the winter. But yeah, I got on the seltzers a little bit as I talked about, and man, yeah, I'm already like feeling lighter, more nimble. Like people can't see this, but I'm waving my arms. Look at how good I'm waving my arms around right now. That's all because I stopped drinking fucking Red Hook.
When I was drinking Red Hook, I couldn't lift my arm above my chest. It was really weird. I don't know what was going on.
I'm lifting my arm right now. For those who can't.
Yeah, we were doing this. We were doing this math before we started recording, but just since we didn't fully go into the what are you drinking this week. I do have what I was calling a 7-7, but it's a strong 7-7, which is obviously Seagram's and 7-Up. But it's a 50-50 proportion 7-7, so I figured it's a 50-50 7-7. That means 100 plus 14, but I have Diet 7-Up, so that I guess in total concluding that I have a 110.5 in my glass right now.
I think it was 113.5. I don't want to split hairs, but wait. No, you're right, because you split the... I think it's a 57. I think it's a 50... I think it's a 57, actually.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've never been good at math, but I just figured, the proportion is 50-50. That concludes to 100%, right? So that's 100. And then I have the 7, which is the Seagram's, and then I have Diet 7-Up, which is half of 7, which means 3.5. Which comes out to 100.
I get the 110. I get it now. No, you're so right. I totally get it.
Who's math? New segment.
No, that makes sense. No, because when we talked about it beforehand, I don't know why we spent so much time. We spent 5 minutes discussing the math of what this drink would actually come out to be. And the 110.5 didn't, but you're absolutely right, because you're splitting with the diet soda, you're splitting it in half. Mm-hmm. So you only take half of that 7, but you leave the full 7.
Because that's still in there.
Of the Seagram's. Now, the only thing with the 50-50 mix is I wonder if that's 50%. So that could also be 50.
Okay. Yeah. You have a point.
7.5?
Yeah, so, what's, so half of 50 is 25, so you add...
it's not, it'd be 55.7. No. This is a Loose Stool podcast to listen to where we drink alcohol and try to do math.
This is so fucking stupid. But I'm still interested.
About nothing at all. We're actually doing the math. There's really an answer to be solved here. Not that we're like we're like doing this math like there's actually an absolute answer like to this equation.
Yeah.
Like that there is a right or a
well,
wrong.
we already
this is great.
We already started this fucking equation, so let's finish it. So I got 50% Seagrams. So let's say that's 57. And then I have 50%.
Okay.
I have 50% Diet 7-Up, which is we're equating to 3.5 because it's not full 7. So that's 57 plus 53.5. Right. What does that come out to? Is that still 110.5? I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah.
No, you had it. You had it right from the get-go.
Yeah.
The dispute comes to adding the 50 to the Seagram 7. Oh, wait, the Seagram 7 is just 7.
Okay.
Okay, the Seagram 7 is just 7. This is where it gets a little bit tricky.
Right.
So you say Diet is worth 3.5. I think it's a 10.5. You know what? I'm just going to go and say I think it's a 10.5. Because a 7 and 7 is a 14, and that's widely known bar lingo, right? A 7 and 7 is, if you want to be a slick guy, talk to me when I was 22 years old and I go to a bar and I go,
14.
Give me a 14 because I was new at drinking and I wanted to sound cool, you know? Give me a 14. So I think it's 10.5. I think we need to get rid of the 100. I think the 100 fucking confuses the whole shit.
But if you tell the bartender it's a 110.5, that makes that if they not that they're going to be in on this fucking conversation. No one will be. But if you include the 100, that means that you're giving them the proportions that because normally a drink isn't 50% alcohol to 50% the mixer. So the caveat is that the 100 represents the ratio. You know what I'm saying?
So then it should be a 60.5 because you got the 50 in there plus the 10.5.
Okay, I will concede to that. That sounds all right to me. We're really breaking down all of
and this better pick up. This better be the way that people order 7 and 7s with diet soda from here on out. I'll take a what was it? I already forgot the number. We just came up.
Well, you said 60.5, but if you want full
60.5, I'll take a 60.5.
60.5, or if you want full sugar 7-Up, that's 64, right?
It's a 14. No, it's a 14 because that's a 7. Yeah, but you still it's a 14. This is where the whole
you still want to include the ratio though.
No, the ratio only a 7 and 7 is a proper, well-known drink that has a meaning and already has a nickname, right? Called the 14. We don't need to add to what the 14 is. This is well known. It's been established over many, many years. I've been drinking for almost 20 years now. It's always been a 14. So don't you go touching like what a 14 is. We're coming up with your drink with the diet.
Which somehow ended up at 60.5.
And that's why 10.5 makes the most. That's why 10.5 makes the most sense. Because it's less than a 14. I'm the one who tried to get off this topic, let me remind you, and you went, no, let's do the math. No, let's do the math.
Oh, man.
Remember like 10 minutes ago when I wanted to move on, and I was trying to push the conversation, and you go, no, let's do the math. Well, now we're doing the math.
We've done the math, and I am satisfied with your math. Before we get into anything else...
and I'm satisfied to take our fucking pee break right now. See y'all on the flip side, because I'm going to pee.
Right. Be right back, guys.
Stool with Matt Nic.
Earlier this week, man, on Tuesday specifically, I was at this stop, which I